Hello and welcome to Levant TV Headlines. A small delegation of Iraqi Kurdish fighters have crossed the Turkish border into Syria's Kobani to prepare the way for dozens more to reinforce the town's defenders. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has warned that a decision by the Israeli regime to block the access of all visitors to the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound amounts to a declaration of war. Senior Iranian parliamentarian Aladen Borujerdi says Iran wants all Western sanctions to be lifted before striking a deal on its contested nuclear program by a November deadline. South Sudan's army has repulsed rebel attacks on the key northern oil hub town of Bentiu, the defense minister said, saying many had been killed or wounded in fierce fighting. And the US Navy SEAL commando who fired the shots which killed Al-Qaeda chief Osama bin Laden is to reveal his identity in a documentary next month. Now let's take a look at the top headlines in today's newspapers in the Middle East. Starting with the Egypt Independent, which leads reporting that the government has tightened security at Cairo University as it seeks to avert another year of unrest on university campuses, among the last bastions of protest and dissent in Egypt. The paper also reports that Sweden has officially recognized the State of Palestine, Stockholm's foreign minister said, less than a month after the government announced its intention to make the controversial move. From Lebanon, the Daily Star leads reporting that Major General Abbas Ibrahim says jihadists and a Qatari mediator were behind delays in negotiations to free the 27 soldiers and policemen being held captive hours after the Nusra Front accused the security chief of obstructing the process. The paper also reports that Speaker Nabi Berri has scheduled a legislative session for 5th November to vote on a number of bills, including one that would extend Parliament's mandate by more than 2.5 years. From the UAE, the Khalij Times leads reporting that soldiers using heavy diggers stepped up their desperate search for victims of a landslide in Sri Lanka, feared to have buried alive 100 people on a tea plantation. The paper also reports that UAE's Foreign Minister Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan has called on the international community to continue supporting anti-piracy operations and strengthen the fight against militant groups like Al-Shabaab. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines from the UK papers. The Telegraph leads its Middle East news, reporting that Malala Yousafzai, the teenage Nobel Peace Prize winner, is donating a $50,000 award to the United Nations to help rebuild schools in Gaza damaged during the recent conflict with Israel. The 17-year-old Pakistani activist for girls' education was collecting another prestigious award, World's Children's Prize, in Stockholm when she said she would give the money. The Independent leads its Middle East news, reporting that Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has denounced Israel's closure of a mosque in East Jerusalem as tantamount to the declaration of war. Israeli police shut access to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, known as the Temple Mount, following the shooting of far-right Jewish activist Yehuda Glick yesterday. The Guardian reports that the first Iraqi Kurdish Peshmerga fighters have entered the besieged Syrian town of Kobani through the border crossing with Turkey, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, which said that 10 fighters had already moved in and the others were expected to enter the town within hours. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines in the international papers. From Germany, the Deutsche Welle leads reporting that rival militias in Libya have committed massive violations of human rights, including kidnapping, torture, and executions, according to a new report released by Amnesty International. The human rights organization also accused both pro-government and rebel fighters in the west of the country of showing an utter disregard for civilian casualties. And finally, China's Global Times reports that the Islamic State militant group has released 25 Kurdish students it had snatched in Syria's northern province of Aleppo last May. A monitoring group said that the IS had released 10 of the kidnapped students before and kept others in captivity under the pretext that their relatives are members of the Kurdish Democratic Union. for more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.